Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. And so here I am looking at it on the daily time frame on the evening of Tuesday, March 26th, after it closed at a price of $71.48, being more or less flat on the day, and not changing too much in the after hours as well, being up just about 13 cents in the after hours. And yeah, so I just wanted to go over this ticker because I did put out a poll and you all voted for this on YouTube, so thanks for participating in that. But yeah, I just wanted to follow up. All of these lines are from the previous video that I did on BABA. Didn't add any more, but I did want to go over a few levels that stand out to me. But really, generally, this is just a pretty hard chart to try and understand because it's just been doing all of this like sideways chop for quite some time, ranging from right around, like $69 up to around $78, and just going up and down in that range. But there are some levels that do stand out to me as being important to either reclaim or test as support before moving higher, so I did want to go over those. One of those levels is this orange uptrending line based on these two pivot points that you can see over here, has been broken as support multiple times, but those were really just fake out breakdowns, and generally it has been respected, having no more than one close at a time below that level. Until just recently, we have had 3 closes below that orange uptrend. But if we do look at these prior lows, like the one hit on March 5th, that was a low on the day of $71.04, right around $71. And so I do think that will be a key level to be paying attention to, as we did hit a low on the day, March 26th, of $71.09. So we are still making higher lows. So I do think it is good that we are not breaking lower than that. And also, as I note this, it does look like the RSI here from the 5th was 44.43, whereas today on the 26th, 41.73. So while we are making higher lows in the price up here, as long as we don't break to a lower low tomorrow, the RSI is lower lows. So that is bullish divergence, actually hidden bullish divergence, with higher lows in the price, lower lows in the RSI. So that could be suggesting there are some upside moves in the near future, but price could always break lower. And if it does, I do see this yellow downtrend. Perhaps that could be acting as support. And perhaps the next level down would be the low from February 9th. That was at a price of $70. Also just being a psychological level, $7, $10 bills right there. So, that could be the next level of support, although it would be taking quite a dip to be getting down there, going down about $1.50 from current price. So that is something to be thinking about. But then another level that stood out to me, I believe, was just the high that was hit on January 16th. That was $70.53. So right around $70.50. So if we do look at that line right about where that cursor is, does look like it had served as support here, getting a few breaks below it, but ultimately that was respected as support. And then also, just looking over here, we did get a wick below, but we did respect that. So that could be another level that price could be bouncing off of. However, I do think price could very well be going lower, as we do have this gap to the downside at $68.74, which was the high hit on January 22nd before this big gap up. Almost filled on February 9th, but not quite. And then again, I do have this red line drawn here, which was the open price on December 11th, where I do get this orange line originating from as well. And so that red line is at a price of $69.55. So that is just another level that might be acting as support. But I feel most compelled by $70.50. I do think that could be acting as support, and that would coincide with retesting this yellow downtrend as support before a potential bounce and break above this white downtrend. But really, the thing that stands out most to me about the chart is not looking at it on the daily time frame, but looking at it on the weekly time frame. And so by doing that, we can clearly see that we have had the past, 5 weeks red candles all coming down and following along this white downtrend, more or less all of them closing below it. So I do think that white downtrend is one to contend with. And then also looking at this weekly candle that we have formed so far, it is not yet complete. The high of the week so far was at a price of $72.49, which does seem to coincide with that orange uptrend. So, I do think it would be really, really good if we could get a weekly close above 72.50. I do think that would suggest a lot of strength. That would also be, above the white downtrend. And that would be the first green candle in more than the past month. So I do think that would suggest a lot of strength. But as I had noted before, $70.50, that does coincide with the high for this week that closed on January 19th. And so I do think that could be notable support if we do break lower, perhaps bouncing off of this yellow downtrend and perhaps this red line as well, perhaps getting a wick down to 69.50 right around there and hopefully closing above. That could be a bottom before we start to break out. And another thing that I do want to point out about this, which I don't normally focus on, and it is also something to be cautious of since the week is not over yet, but given that it is a shortened week, I suspect we will see lower volume for the next 2 trading days. But as price has gone down over the past few weeks, volume has also gone down, and that does suggest that the downtrend could be reversing soon. So while that may not be this week, next week we may get a test and break above this white downtrend, perhaps getting above this orange uptrend. And so I think it would be great, regardless of what we close at this week, I think if we could close next week, that would be closing on April 5th, if we could get above 72.50 for that week, closing above it, I think that would be really strong. And bigger picture, that would be breaking out of what looks to me like this falling wedge, and I do think that could suggest a lot of upside, perhaps coinciding with filling all of these gaps to the upside, going up to, $84.75, perhaps higher. But, I do think there is a lot of potential in the chart, and it is on the cusp of breaking out. It might just be a couple more weeks, but we will have to wait and see. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.